Welcome to Established in the 90s.
Justin, Tom, we are here. We've rebooted the show. We had a first season. We have lost episodes, and we're bringing it back. Now, the shows are
We're
a little
back.
bit different format, but it's cooler.
I think it's a lot cooler. I like this. This interface is awesome, Justin. We did. This
Is
is
this?
like a reboot on steroids.
It totally is. I got to give a shout out to our producer Derek, who built this entire remote stage for us, and it's rad. I mean, I'm so pumped to be back. What's up, producer Derek?
Dude, I'm so
Derek.
excited to be doing this again. Like, I was the one who was editing the first edition, first season, whatever you want to call it, of Established in the 90s. The first episode we did, fun fact, was the episode about the baseball movie. What was it called?
Sandlot.
Sandlot.
Yeah, Sandlot.
And I wore the shirt. I had to break out the shirt, the Sandlot shirt to the reboot here. It's the official reboot
Nice.
of the podcast. I'm so excited for you guys. I really enjoyed working with you, and so I'm glad we're able to bring it back.
Shout out to my homeboy, O.J. Simpson.
Round one, fight!
So rebooting, we're going straight rebooting. I mean, I got two shows that jump out to me right away, Tom. Erie, Indiana, one of my favorite shows that I ever worked on. We want to reboot it. We've been trying to reboot it for years. And of course, Hey Arnold, we want to reboot it. We want to bring it back for season 6. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think Erie, Indiana just needs to be an animated cartoon at this point. So a
Totally.
spinoff, I think that'd be awesome. And I mean, it's kind of like Stranger Things, basically, right? I mean, Gravity Falls and Stranger Things. I think Erie, Indiana fits right into that category.
Totally.
Uh,
I mean,
yeah.
I think Stranger
How
Things,
do
the
we make it?
creators
How
of
do we
the
make it
show.
happen? How do we get the rights to it? Let's just make it.
Ugh, let's do it. I mean, I
Yeah.
know Lionsgate owns the rights to it. We got to get the fans to write in, hashtag Erie, Indiana, get this thing going viral on social media, get everybody pumped. I mean, we had Omri Katz on the show, on Established in the 90s. We had Jason Marsden on the show. I mean, both of these guys are sensational. They want to do the show again. Carl Schaefer and
Would
Jose
you guys,
Rivera, the
you guys
creators of
be
the show.
adults?
Yeah. Yeah. What's the
Well, obviously you
storyline?
wouldn't be kids again, but but I mean, how would you guys be like, adults that have kids that are, in this world now, or are you guys adults
I
going
think
through the same scenarios?
I think we're adults and we have kids, and we're the only ones in Erie that actually know how weird the town is because obviously we grew up in it. And so now, our kids are out there going on these adventures. Every week they're talking to dogs, and talking to friends through their dentist that have weird dental wear. There's that episode, where all the lost things go. So all that stuff I think would come back. But obviously, as adults, I might be the mayor of the town. There's weird things that are going to happen.
You're just
And
writing
we're now
yourself
in
in as
20.
the mayor, like you never left.
Yeah, that'd be
Um,
so fun. Now, what about Hey Arnold? Are we doing a season 6? You
I
worked on the movie.
Yeah, I don't know. So I have an idea for Hey Arnold as a reboot, where I think it needs to go more like an Indiana Jones show, like more of an adventure show, more of a he's a little older, and instead of him kind of hanging around whatever, I mean, I think that was Brooklyn or whatever people said, it's DC or
Pretty
Philadelphia or
much.
whatever. But yeah, I mean, instead,
Exactly.
him and Gerald just go off on adventures throughout the world, trying to find treasures and piggybacking off the kind of the movie.
What about Harold?
Harold didn't make it. Sorry.
Harold
We gotta get
definitely
rid of
made it.
Harold.
He's the
That's the only
he's
way
the
I'm
butcher.
working on the shows, if we're just writing Harold
Oh,
out.
Harold is here in the reboot. Definitely Harold is here.
Harold never left the town. They're off on adventures, and Harold is or maybe Harold became like the financier for this thing. So they
That
run
that's very much the case. Yeah. Who knew? He was a butcher a la investment banker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Producer Derek, what do you think? What do you want to reboot from the 90s?
I've been thinking about this a lot. I would like to reboot channel surfing. I want to bring back flipping through the channels on the TV because right
Yeah.
now it's like everything's either recorded on your DVR or you're streaming at any time. It used to be like going to the casino. Like, let's see if Terminator 2 is on. Like, just see if we can get lucky and just flip through the channel. I want to reboot channel surfing.
Like
I
the
love it. That
uncertainty
would be
of like
so fun.
not knowing what you're gonna watch or do, and just be like, let's find something new to watch or see. It's a surprise.
What about X-Files? I heard that's coming back.
Is it? Yeah, that
X
is coming
Files would
back.
be
Yeah.
amazing. And quick note: Chris Carter, I think the creator of X Files, was a big Erie, Indiana fan. He used to come to the set, and we always called ourselves kind of like X Files for kids. And X Files is amazing. I mean, that an incredible show, two amazing leads, super scary, weird stuff. When I was a kid, I couldn't watch it; it was too scary for me. But I'm all for rebooting it. Tom, what do you think?
Yeah, I wasn't a huge X Files fan, but I mean, I think it could be a great show. It had a great cast, and um, you know, not for me, but for Derek, we'll do it. We'll bring it back.
We'll do it for Derek. Mulder and Scully will come back just for you, producer
Yeah,
Derek.
yeah. So
All
what
right,
I
let's
would
move
like to
on.
see rebooted? I would like to see more of an experience. The Pizza Hut dine-in restaurants, because to
Oh,
me, where do kids go now after a game, or like with their friends or like family, and you go play a little league game, and then you go to Pizza Hut buffet afterwards, right, with the red Solo cups,
The red cups.
the red
The
cups,
red
or not
cups were the
red
Solo cups,
best.
cups.
the plastic cups, yeah, the red plastic cups, and they had the lights, and it was a classy establishment back in the day.
Very classy.
You made me
And you know
think
what's
of. Sorry, you made me think of those road trips when you're a kid. There's always like a Pizza Hut across from the hotel, and you
Yes,
go get
yeah,
the Pizza Hut and you leave it on the radiator overnight, and then the next morning before you take off in the van, you eat cold Pizza Hut that's been sitting on the radiator all night. That was
yep,
the best. That was
that's
the
the
best.
best. Yeah,
I'll let you get back.
the best? Yeah, it's true. I mean, you got a 5 and a 7-year-old. Where do you go after games? We need to reboot the
yeah,
Pizza Hut.
yeah. Where you see like all the teams in there and like the pizza parties and stuff, like
That
absolutely.
was the
So
best.
yeah, yeah, yep.
All right, we're bringing it back.
Yeah, I think we should bring that back. And then I got to go back to kind of what Derek was saying with I'd like to reboot Blockbusters, like the video stores.
Oh,
It's
those were the
like
best.
shopping for what you want to watch. It was such a good, like, a tactile experience to be able to go and pick a movie up, and like it was a thing. It was an experience, and now it's just kind of you're scrolling. I sound so old.
No, going to Blockbuster with like my mom or friends and just kind of figuring out which movie I wanted to get and then being in line and get like candy and popcorn. That was the best, like Friday night. And now all that's gone. I mean, we got Netflix, we got everything else, but it's just everything's too much at our fingertips. Like, I want to go out there and actually explore and figure out what I want to get and what I want to enjoy.
Yeah,
Blockbuster was such a part of like my entertainment as a child.
yeah. I also think, like, now it takes longer to find what you want to watch than actually driving to a Blockbuster, picking it out, and coming back home. It's like I could sit on Netflix and go through like 8,000 movies. I'm like, I don't want to watch any of these. Like, so then I just end up sitting
So
on my
true.
phone, and I'm like, yeah,
So true. All right. Well,
yeah.
we got a good reboot list. Let's go on, producer Derek, to our next topic.
2, fight!
Oh, okay.
All right. Where were we in the 90s? Now, we were on different coasts. Tell us a little bit about where you were,
We
Tom.
were we were on, yeah, different coasts and totally different lifestyles. So, no, I feel like we should start with you, because yours is like way more. I think way more unique. I mean, I was a '90s kid in the most '90s kid sense, of just being like a regular kid. You were an actor in the like you
Yeah,
were you were working.
I was working my tookus off in the 90s. I was on set. I was working on Erie, Indiana in 91, which was a blast. And then I was working on Hey Arnold, the cartoon, playing Harold. And then from 92 to 96, I was on another set working on Picket Fences, which was at 20th Century Fox, which is a big soundstage in Century City, which is now owned by Disney. And every day I was, going to set. I had my studio teacher, so I would do like 3 hours of schoolwork per day. And then obviously I had my lines that I'd memorized. And then I'd be working on set with like amazing actors. On Picket Fences, it was Tom Skerritt, Don Cheadle, and Kathy Baker. Here in Indiana, I was working with Omri Katz and Jason, and such a great experience. So yeah, I think my childhood in the 90s was a little bit different than yours, Tom. What
I
do you
think
think?
different than almost everybody. So yeah, I
What were
mean,
you up to?
I was picking my nose and renting movies and playing video games at the arcade. No, I mean, I grew up in a, shout out Whiting, Indiana, a small town outside of Chicago. And yeah, I mean, I was just in, I'd walk down the street to like my friend's house, my cousin's house, and that's what I'd do. That was my life. Go to school, play video games, and I was not working as a child. Although I would, my dad did own a bar and I would help him clean on Sundays. Um, yeah, that
That's cool.
was the
But I
extent of
also,
what I was doing.
the fortunate thing is when I was working on set, especially on picket fences, I only had to be there the days that I was actually had to be on set. So like we were a 7 day shoot. So we'd work like Monday to Friday and then Monday, Tuesday the following week, and then a new show would start on Wednesday. So I was only for the episode maybe there 3 days. So the other, 2 days of that week I would be in regular school and I was doing the same thing as you. I'd, ride my bike, I was playing video games, I was getting picked on. I had a bully. I wasn't the bully. I played a bully, but I was picked on. So yeah, I mean, I kind of had the combination of a regular kid and then child actor. So
Yeah, you weren't.
it was a little bit
I
of
mean,
both.
as a kid actor going to school and stuff, people and your other, your friends or bullies, like they didn't see you as like a celebrity, like you weren't like the cool popular kid.
No, I think it's weird. I think people think like, oh, you're going to be in school and everybody's going to think, oh, you're amazing. And it's the opposite. Like in LA, maybe again, I was in Los Angeles, so maybe it was different in Indiana or wherever, anywhere else in the
Yeah, I mean,
country. But
if you came to Indiana, you'd be like a star. Everybody would be.
no,
You'd be like
in
the most
LA,
popular kid ever.
no, I think also kids are mean, like kids are
Yeah,
super mean and they're jealous when they're little. So they're like, oh, you're an actor. How much money do you make? Can you get me a job? And I was just like, no, I can barely get a job myself. So, they just, kids just want to fit in. They don't like necessarily anything different. And so therefore
yeah.
I was different because I was doing different things and I don't think that they like that. And so, I had a bully. And I had a female bully, not even a male. I had a girl bully, and she was terrifying. She was kind of like Helga
Like
a little
Elga.
bit from Hey Arnold.
Your life was just Hey Arnold. Yeah, except
Yeah,
you weren't the bully. Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah.
I can't even imagine that. Like, being having responsibilities as a kid and having to learn lines. Although I did do some like school plays and stuff, so I
There
was a
you
little
go.
bit of
So
an actor. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know the
yeah,
life.
you
I know the
you had
hustle.
it in your blood.
Yeah, 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 for sure. I was the prince in my eighth grade play. So
There it is.
yeah,
You're a prince. Producer
I,
Derek, what were you up to in the '90s?
Well, I started out the 90s in New York, and then my family relocated in 97 to North Carolina. So that was two vastly different experiences. I went from having like Eddie Murphy as my neighbor to living way out in the country. It was really, really crazy. I was obsessed
Wait,
with.
hold on. How is Eddie Murphy your neighbor?
So yeah, so we lived in upstate New York. We had a really cool neighborhood. James Earl Jones lived in our neighborhood. Kevin Bacon lived in our neighborhood, and
whoa,
it
Whoa.
makes it sound like we were super rich, but we weren't. We just bought a house like when there was nobody around, and then like it filled out. You know what I mean? And
Uh huh.
and the owner of Avon had actually bought this huge property behind us and built this gigantic mansion on it and never lived there. And then about maybe 6 months before we moved, Eddie Murphy bought it. I never got to meet Eddie Murphy, but his kids and his wife were there, and we would play baseball and hit baseballs into their yard, and the kids would throw them back. My dad fixed Kevin Bacon's VCR. It was pretty cool. And then when I came to North Carolina, it's like I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any friends. I was looked at as like different because I was like a Yankee. They called us. And it was
Yeah.
like, they don't like Northerners in North Carolina, right? And or at least they didn't back then. It's a little different now. We've gentrified a bit, but that was kind of my thing. I was super into like we had this one summer. I guess it was summer of '95, where it was Sega Genesis. Those little pop ice things. Remember those? They're like the plastic tubes filled with
yes,
the ice and
Oh,
OJ
the
Trial
best.
the
all
Otter Pop.
summer.
Yeah,
All summer. It was just we would go play wiffle ball in the backyard, jump in the pool. By
yep.
like noon, it was time to like call it a day. Just go inside, play like air hockey, watch the OJ Trial, play Sega, and that was like the extent of my life. And somehow I still found that somewhat stressful. I don't understand.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. The amount of time just playing video games, wiffle ball. I played so much wiffle ball in my grandma's backyard growing up. That was the
Was
best.
the best. The
Yeah.
What was
best.
your What was
In
your
Indiana,
Sega? Did you guys have like Sega Super Nintendo that you were like addicted to?
oh yeah. Sega was, Sega, Super Nintendo. I mean, Nintendo 64 when that came out.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Lots of
I had
golden
Sega
eye.
CD. I
You have
had
Sega
the CD
CD?
where the Sega
The-
CD where you put it in, and
oh
then
yeah,
I started with Nintendo, Game Boy, which were I was obsessed, and then the Sega CD, which was the little CD that you put in, and that I mean Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, those were my
yeah.
jams.
I went when like PlayStation was coming out. I was kind of anti PlayStation because that was like the big, that was like everybody wanted PlayStation. So I went the Sega Saturn route, and
Sick.
yeah, that didn't
I love the
that didn't pan
Saturn.
out too well. It was good, yeah. Virtua Fighter or whatever it was, I think.
Virtua
Yeah.
Cop. Remember Virtua Cop
Yes.
where you
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
had the light gun and stuff
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, that
So
was
I
sick.
was a Sega kid, and yeah, I went with the Saturn and the Sega Dreamcast too. That was
Nice.
Ooh, you were
That
was the
fancy.
Yeah,
fancy.
you rich
Yeah.
kid over here in Indiana.
Oh yeah.
This
Yeah.
this feels like the perfect transition into stuff that you guys miss from the 90s. We're talking all the little trinkets and gadgets and shows and movies and people. What do we miss from the 90s?
Round 3.
First of all,
That's right.
aren't these
I meant,
transitions like amazing?
yeah, these are awesome. Yeah.
These are so
Uh,
fun. All right, what do you miss?
I miss like actually owning items, like having a tangible thing, CDs, like being able to like have, put a CD in and like going through those actions to listen to music or whatever. And like collecting things, like, that's what I miss. Now it's just all on your phone. So it's like you have one item.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's so many things that I miss. I don't even know where to start. I mean, Tupac, Biggie, Ear Indiana, Hey Arnold, tangible items, like you said. It's just every day. And I
What
also
about
just
food?
miss the
What do you miss
oh
food
food.
wise?
That's a good question. I miss like bubble tape, and I miss like stuff when I was a kid when I played Little League Baseball. So bubble tape, I totally miss. Gushers, I
Yeah.
miss. Those were like the candies that I grew up with that I just absolutely loved. And
They still
I
have a
miss
lot of
the
those. Yeah. But I feel like they taste different now. Like we tasted them and it's like it doesn't taste the same.
first of all, how cool is it that I'm actually a little taller than you in this thing?
So
It's hilarious. I miss Game Boy, but one of the things that I miss that's not a tangible item
there
is
you go.
just the feel.
Perfect.
There we go. Just like the joy of being in the 90s, the kind of I guess naivete of not being bombarded with so much media 24/7. I just felt like we were more innocent back then and things weren't as scary and difficult where now it's like we're just bombarded 24/7 with chaos and news and scariness that the world just seemed so much more relaxed back then. And of course I
Yeah,
was a
you used to
kid.
have to like you had to go out and chase after that information and find it as opposed to now it's just kind of always in your ear. And maybe that was sort of the I miss not having the internet all the time. Like, it was
Right.
yeah, it's like, you had AOL and the dial up sounds and all that was, so much nostalgia, but having just not, the world at your fingertip every second of the day. Definitely that, being kind of innocent. Everybody was a little innocent.
For sure, for
Um,
sure. Now,
yeah,
going back to acting stuff, I used to have a pager, and I had this really cool fluorescent green pager, and I missed that.
those
there
are
were only three
iconic.
people that had pagers. Pagers were,
Yeah.
doctors, drug dealers, and actors. That was it. There was no other reason to have one. So I felt very cool, and I would get paged when I was at school, and I would have to go to the payphone, which again, something I miss. I miss picking up a payphone that was full of gum and gunk, not really, and then calling my agent and finding out what my audition was for that day that I had to get to. I totally miss that.
Yeah, that was man,
You
the
miss that?
pager. I don't miss that at all. 'Cause I never like having to find change to make a phone call and just the panic of like, it's like I don't understand how we survived as kids sometimes. It's like we would just go off and
Right?
play. Indiana, we'd travel wherever just on our bikes, And then we'd have to call home or something, and it'd be, from a payphone, obviously, because we didn't have cell phones. And I just remember like never having change, having to call and check in. So we would do the whole 1-800 collect thing, where it's, you dial and then it's like, leave your name for the person if they want to accept the charge or the call. And you would just like leave a quick message like, hey mom, I'm over here, I'll be back soon, and then hang up so she would
Hang
leave.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That was great. I remember doing that too. You know what's weird? I was just back in New York and I was on the subway, and everybody on the subway, just like pretty much everywhere all the time, was just on their cell phone. So, like on the subway in New York, you're just seeing this
Yeah.
scroll. And it's weird because none of that happened in the 90s. Like I would be on the subway in New York and I guess people would look at you, maybe they wanted to kill you, and that would obviously not be a good thing. But I mean, there wasn't, people were
But
just
at least
not
you
scroll.
knew. Like
You
you
knew
had at least
if
you had a personal connection with the person before they wanted to kill you,
right
like you
or,
shared space. Yeah.
yeah, it's just like people I felt were more alive, especially us being living in LA. It's like we get in our car, you're on your phone, then you walk and you've got your AirPods in, so you're totally tuned out to the world. You're listening to your music or you're on a phone call, and that is something that I just feel like it takes us out of the world. We're not connecting with people in the way that in the 90s we did. We had to go see our friends. We
Yeah.
had to be in a community with them. Now we could just live on our computer or in our own little world and not interact with people.
I know. Yeah. It is kind of, there's way more sense of community, and I think because it was harder, you had to actually put in effort to see
Yeah,
people. And I mean, you have to do that now, but it was, you had to plan stuff out, make phone calls, I mean, before cell phones, it's like I'm like, how did we used to hang out? Like we would just call people and be like, we're going to head over there at some point and then show up like without texting that like we're here or I'm running 5 minutes late. Like, what
right.
if you were like, I get so much anxiety now. So I'm like, what if you were late back in the day? Like, what did you do? You couldn't, you're just in the car late and everybody's waiting for you. Nobody knows if you died or not.
Totally.
Like,
Something I don't miss is when I was going on auditions, we had something called the Thomas Guide, which was this big book,
yeah,
and we put in an address, like every address in LA was in it, and you put in the address and then figure out the quadrant that you had to go to then go on the side streets to figure out how to get to the audition. And that was insane. Now we just obviously Google Map it and Waze it. So that I don't miss. Producer Derek, what do you miss? What don't you miss from the 90s?
Well, I kind of miss this, but I also kind of don't. Phone calls. Like, it's nice to just be able to text somebody, but I remember when, you'd randomly get a call from your friend and it was like kind of cool. It was like, is Derek
yeah,
there? Or like, it was just like a cool thing. I had a phone in my room and I remember that was a big deal.
Yep.
Those kind of things. I remember when it was a big deal to have a movie channel like the HBO or Cinemax, like one of your friends might have it or two of your friends, or if you go to
yeah,
a hotel, another hotel
yep,
story, they have HBO. It's like on the sign, free HBO. And now we all
yeah,
have 9 gazillion movie apps. Like
yep.
I feel like it's almost too much of a good thing now. You know what
It
I
is.
mean?
Yeah.
I
Right.
don't miss being in the long car rides without any kind of entertainment. I remember that like you would get like a Game Boy or a Game Gear and the batteries would die like an hour and a half into your trip. And
Yep.
then it was like
Yep.
sit for 6 hours while you drive to Alabama or something. Like it was like you just sit there bored looking out the window. Count how many cows you see. Count how many
Yeah.
stop signs. Like that game sucks.
That armed me for life in terms of like I can fall asleep just anytime I'm on a plane or in a car ride. I just get in and I can just knock out. It's like it's a superpower, I think, and that's from the 90s. Yeah.
You know what I miss though, in regards to car rides, is my cousins had one of those station wagons where we would sit in the back, like 5 of us kids crammed in the back, looking at the other cars as they were coming at us, and we would
Oh
like
man.
make faces at them, like
Yeah.
and
No
it
seat
was
belts
the
for you.
best. Yeah, yeah.
Finish him.
Then versus now, Hollywood. I got to tell you, Tom. So we were talking about Erie, Indiana earlier in the show, and we just talked about this like yesterday. The location where I shot Erie was at a studio called CBS Radford Studios in Studio City. It's one of my favorite studio lots I've ever worked on because I mean I was there in 1991. I was a kid. I love working on Erie, Indiana. It's now bankrupt. Literally,
Yeah.
that production lot where I was shooting is now bankrupt because there is so little production happening in Los Angeles. In the 90s, it was the heyday. Every studio lot was packed. There was so much production happening in Los Angeles. Really, production wasn't happening anywhere else. You had to be in LA if
Yeah.
you were an actor because everything was shooting here. And now everything is dispersed. It's in Atlanta, it's in Canada, it's in,
Hmm.
the UK, it's in Ireland, and that is a massive difference that we've lost so much production.
Yeah, I was down on Melrose not too long ago over by Paramount. And I remember like when I first moved to LA, I used to like to drive, past there because it's like I was in school, so it's like, oh, you get to go through kind of the Hollywood area and see all the studios, and the vibes around the studios were so cool because you had the restaurants and people were out, and it was like, it was awesome. And I went by recently, and like the restaurants were closed near the studio. There's a famous Mexican restaurant that's like closed and shuttered, so it's just kind of a bum because like Hollywood used to have this like vibe to it that was like you drive down the Sunset Strip at night, and you see all the billboards and all the signs, and people were out, and it was like you'd see celebrities occasionally here and there, and it's like it's gone. It's so
Yeah,
weird.
I know. I was talking to a buddy of mine yesterday. We were just talking about like in the 90s, we'd cruise around, we'd cruise Sunset, we'd cruise Hollywood Boulevard. It
Yeah.
was packed, like bumper to bumper. You had your, music going. We'd listen to Nelly. We loved Nelly
Yeah.
back in the day. Obviously Tupac, Biggie, and then we would just cruise, and I don't even sometimes wouldn't even get out of the car. That was just the
Yeah.
night, and it was fun. It
Yeah.
was
No, you
fun,
just go
and
drive
now
around, and yeah,
yeah, the streets are empty. Like, I mean, there's
there
no
is.
clubs,
It's
there's
just,
nothing
yeah.
happening on Sunset or Hollywood in terms of
Yeah.
the business. So it's such a bummer to see.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it started before COVID, but definitely COVID kind of, you know, made it so everybody could work remote and all that. But yeah, I mean Hollywood, man, it used to be such a fun vibe. My favorite drive was just going starting in Hollywood and then driving all the way down Sunset Boulevard and seeing all the clubs and the nightlife and everybody partying, and like people don't do that anymore. So I don't
That's
know.
true. That's true.
That's
I
been
mean, I
fun.
guess the one of the kind of the benefits of it for us is we have our independent studio, T0 Studios,
Yeah.
and it used to be distribution to try to sell a series was it was either you sold it to Nickelodeon, to Fox, Cartoon Network, or uh, that that was it really,
That's
or
it. Yeah.
maybe a
Yeah.
major. That was it, and
Yeah.
you only had those opportunities. Now with streaming, there's Netflix and Amazon and Hulu, and there's fast channels, and then of course for our series Bronx Buds with the Yes Network, we're on a regional sports network, and we're on an app. So in terms of opportunities for creators now, I feel like there's a lot more opportunity in terms of where you can create your own content. I mean, look, we're doing a podcast now. This wasn't around in the 90s.
Yeah.
And,
Well, it
we're
was. It was
creating.
just Larry King was like the original podcast.
That's
So,
true. He was
yeah.
the OG podcaster,
Yeah.
but we can create our own stuff.
Yeah.
We can find a home for it, whether it's on YouTube or somewhere else. And that's pretty cool. I mean, if you have a phone, you can make content.
Yeah, I think that's like the definite benefit. I was just watching recently because that new Ben Affleck, Matt Damon movie's coming out. I think it's on
Yeah,
Netflix, and they've been talking a lot about how just storytelling has changed because of everybody's so like inundated with their phones and information coming at them that people don't really even like focus on watching. Can't focus on watching a whole movie at once. So they had to like they were talking about the studio notes where it's you have to say the plot three times in the beginning, just keep reiterating the names of the characters and keep like reminding people of like what's going to happen and what's going on, and like telegraph. It's like basically a movie in TikTok form, and it's
that's
crazy.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now obviously they have all these vertical dramas. So I mean, Disney just
Yeah.
came out recently that they're going to be making all content vertically, so we can watch it on our phone because obviously TikTok is so
Yeah.
huge. So there's that. Just kind of feels like it's sucking the soul out of good content. I miss '90s movies. I miss
Yeah.
going to the movie theater and being able to. I would go like every weekend for a double feature. I would see
Yeah.
at least one, typically 2 movies a weekend. And I mean, we had the best movies in the 90s, the best comedies, the best, the best dramas, A Few Good Men,
That's
I mean,
the best horror movies too. Scream,
yeah,
I
there's
know what you did last
so many
summer.
good,
Yeah.
yeah,
And those were such
yeah,
it was like an event because we didn't have a lot to do in Indiana, so it's like if you weren't going to like a football game or a high school sporting event, you were at the movies. So and it was cheap, and you'd see. I mean, God, it was like every Friday night you just go to the movies, and it was packed.
it was
So
packed. It was
yeah,
so fun. It was like, at least in LA, it was like $3.75 per
yeah, yeah,
ticket. So it was affordable. You could get popcorn, you could get a soda, all in with a friend, you were like $20 out and
yeah,
you could do it. And
yeah.
now it's like, I never go to the movies, very rarely. And
No,
if I go with somebody, it's like $100. I mean, it's still great to go to the movie theater. I love it, but it's just
yeah,
massive kind of superhero movies. And
yeah.
that's not my vibe. So
No,
I
it's the same
want,
thing. Yeah, yeah. The last movie I saw in theater was Zootopia with the kids because we went to go see
yeah.
that, and that was yeah. I mean, it's a great experience. I love the movie theater experience. It's awesome. But you're right. It was like
How much was it?
$120. I
Yeah.
mean, the tickets alone were 20 a piece. So you're $80 for tickets, and then popcorn and say it was $150 by the time we were done.
It's crazy.
Nuts to go
It's
see. So it's like
insane.
that's what I could watch it on my TV when it comes out. But
Right.
yeah, I mean it's still a fun. I mean the experience is great, but yeah, I miss just being able to like go and watch a movie, or get the newspaper and you see what's playing. I don't, like
Yes.
the show times. So
Totally.
yeah,
There'd be the section in the LA Times. We'd go to the calendar
yeah,
section, and then in the
yep,
back, it'd
yeah,
have like which theater we would go to, which time they were playing. Then you'd
yeah.
call sometimes. I'd sometimes call the movie theater to
Wasn't
make
it they
sure
used
that
to
they
have
were playing.
the movie phone, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that a thing?
Mo-
Yeah, you call that. That was also like my favorite Seinfeld episode where Kramer was doing the movie. He was trying to start the movie phone business in his
Yeah.
apartment, and they would call him, and he'd be like, "What time do you want the show to be?" Like, Seinfeld was so funny.
The best.
Uh,
Seinfeld. I
yeah,
miss Seinfeld.
yeah,
Oh
it's
man.
crazy. It's like we have, as creators, we have so many opportunities now just to create stuff. It's like a playground, but it's also terrifying because you have like this much time to get people's attention.
For sure. Well, producer Derek, I mean, you're creating content now. You're big in the podcast world. You have your own. You've put this show together for us, which we love. So, what do you think about kind of Hollywood now versus maybe when you were a kid?
I think movies in general suck recently, and I agree completely with your takes on how expensive it is. We just went to go see Marty Supreme like a week ago. Me and my buddy, it's $4 for the tickets because I'm on the season pass. So it's like I pay $40 a month and I go once a day. I still spent $82 because like they have more options for food and stuff and drinks and
Yeah,
stuff, but it's insanely priced. It's like airport prices. So I had a pizza that's like one of those little personal pizzas with like some pepperoni and I think like a soda and some chocolate chip cookies. And my buddy, I treated my buddy and he had like I think they call it the Royale with cheese. It's like on the Pulp Fiction burger,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
and a
Yeah.
couple of beers, and it was $82. And I was, my God, it's like 15 DVDs.
That's right.
It is. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's 3 months of my streaming service. Yeah.
No
So,
doubt.
how
Yeah.
you guys like the first episode of the reboot here? We're in the new
I love it.
phase, the new
So
phase,
fun.
Yeah.
So
and
fun.
I think next week we're going to talk about everything that happened in 1996, and it's going to be all a complete surprise to you guys what topics I decide to bring up. So I'm looking forward to your genuine reactions and your unscripted thoughts on all sorts of things that happened 30 years ago now, which makes me feel insanely old.
So we'll
Love
see
it.
you next week.
See you next week.
Tom, Bruce, Garrett, established the 90s.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.